Hello everybody, I'm Vedran Meniga, I come from Zagreb and I'm director of Pozitiv Ritam. Pozitiv Ritam is a company that does many things. We run festivals, we run event production management, we have a record label and so on and so on. I come from Šibenik, but I live in Zagreb and the company is based in Zagreb. But here I am to tell you a little story about Šibenik. The location of Martinska in Šibenik started in exactly 2021 years ago. There was the first punk festival, and then nothing happened since 2013. 3 years ago, in 2019, we started a new location in cooperation with the city of Šibenik that invited us, Pozitiv Ritam, to be coordinator of the new festival location. Martinska today consists of 6 festivals run by Šibenik promoters, so independent promoters from local area that have collaboration with other people from the region and from the world. There are 6 different festivals. Regius, that is like mostly ex-Balkan mainstream rock, then Seasplash Festival, that is Sound System Festival, then we have Canal Fest, that is Punk Rock Festival, Blast Fest, that is Techno Hippie Festival, Membrane Festival, it is Bass Festival. In the next few years, we want to accept some more festivals. 2020, when the COVID started, the civil institutions and the civil headquarters didn't know to do anything. Everybody was confused and nobody knew actually what to do regarding licenses for the festivals. And as we wanted to continue with our work, we actually suggested to the civil service, civil headquarters, how we want to run the site to hold some events. They said, yes, you can do it as long as there are no people who are under COVID. 2020, Martinska in Šibenik was the only festival site in Europe, apparently, that had 5 events, festivals, and 1 open-air concerts. We didn't have a single case of COVID. We were respecting all the restrictions and epidemic measures that were put on by civil service and civil headquarters. In 2021, actually it was much harder because at the last week of June we got new measures that said that only people with COVID passports or negative test can approach the site. As it happened only last week before the season started, we actually lost a lot of local people because Martinska in Šibenik, besides running events for worldwide audience, is based for local community and for local people. Unfortunately, the region of Dalmatia, where is Šibenik situated, Dalmatia is the Zadar-Šibenik split, so those 3 regions are actually the worst with vaccination. So we actually lost a lot of people who didn't want to get vaccinated or tested because it cost more money. Despite that, we had more people this year until the end of July. We had more people because campaign was quite good during the year. And then in the late July, they said that we can work only until midnight. That was actually much worse than it was supposed to be, as we know that events last until early hours. The last event was cancelled because they thought that they couldn't do it. The Croatia, especially the Croatian coast and Croatian economy in general, depends on the tourist season. That's why for the Croatian government it was really important that the tourist season goes on. That's why the cultural scene was actually victimized for the tourist season, because if the numbers started to grow, the first who would be pointed finger at would be cultural events, festivals and the parties and the concerts and so on. Government said cultural events can last maximum until midnight, even they were all allowed with COVID passes. It was political and economical move. It was important for people who work in tourism to earn money. Festivals didn't happen in the right form, but tourist season were lasting with no measures, so everything was working until early hours in the hotels and the beaches, and there was really a lot of people joining the Croatian coast this year, but the festivals were victimized for that purpose. With this kind of project and the location of Martinska, we are revitalizing the local scene in the south of Croatia, Dalmatian coast, because in the last 10 or 15 years, the local independent small festivals disappeared due to arrival of big international festivals that have owners from abroad and that are big brands known worldwide. In the last 10 years, they pushed out with the power of their economy or promotion or campaign pushed out small local festivals. That's why Martin's Cup project was agreed with the city of Šibenik and the tourist board of Šibenik and Šibenik County to bring back the local independent festivals so the local scene can grow. And actually it was organized and started as a long-term project for the next 15 years in order to develop local scenes. Of course, COVID fucked it, the most of it in the last 2 years, and nobody knows what we can expect in the time that comes. There are some new ideas how to adjust the location, maybe not based only on the festivals, but on a wider cultural context, with more events, with theater, with performances, with workshops, and so on, to make it work.